An ear-piercing sound overtakes the air. This might be what it feels like experiencing a condition known as tinnitus, which is the perception of noise or ringing in the ears. Everyone everywhere heard this ringing sound with an unknown origin and debilitating effects.
That's not funny, Archie. That really hurt.
Breaking glass and iPad screams, but not the Thorns' house. Glass are intact on windows and TVs. This scenario of attack which will induce uncertainty in the population. George was explaining this, and in a way, he's afraid of is exactly what he's experiencing. It's just uncertainty. You as the viewer have to fill in the blanks of what that uncertainty looks like, whether it's a cyber attack, an act of war, an environmental disaster, or collapse of civic order. Scares that you just don't know.
Archie, look.
What? Another one bites the dust.
There's no going back to normal.
Don't say that.
Clay.
We have to. Get up. Look. Look.
It doesn't say anything.
What? It was just there.
You sure? What did it say?
Yes, of course, I'm sure.
Frustrated about knowing nothing about what's happening and was clearly awakened by confrontation, Ethan Hawke as Clay promises his wife to get on top of their situation. Then drove his car into town in the first half of the movie. Hoping to reach a shop and learn more about what is happening. At the early stage of the movie, Amanda cannot sleep and prep to travel without telling or surprising her family.
Oh, and I printed out the little thingy there for you from
J Dreamer Z mentioned this as an effect to you. Not being able to sleep will be a theme throughout this, as it is with many other apocalyptic movies. He said that during the apocalypse there's an influx of energy like never before. So people's souls resonate to that energy and they become amplified. Side effects are, he said, that people don't need sleep. It's not that they can't sleep, it's that they don't need it. Amped up paranoia. They become energetic to ridiculous degrees, almost like a hyperactive kid, and get overexcited when they know something is coming up and they can't stop thinking about it. You are amped and full of energy, much like you have been drinking a bottle of energy drink. There is a lot going on in this movie. There is already a lot going on in our world, then this movie comes along and leave you confused. What a headache. If you were confused, you're not alone. The conspiracy theories and pop culture references in this movie were never supposed to provide answers, but, instead, draw a picture of how they reflect humanity's need for escapism when nothing makes sense and no one is in control.
But help me out here, babe. I mean...
Well, when I couldn't fall back asleep this morning, I came over here.
Why today?
To watch the sunrise. And I came to a more accurate realization. No one's going on the roof.
You know, get one of those, some rabbit ears or something.
Why would a rabbit's ear help?
The truth is far more frightening. Nobody is in control. The world is rudderless. Alan Moore.
Anyway, this wife played by Julia Roberts is unlikable, and she was almost always angry at the slight of experiencing discomfort or the dealing with the unknown.
I fucking hate people.
This was her trigger, as seen in the second day when the husband was awakened by a confrontation. Quite unlikable, as other movie reviewers pointed out. She was asked in the movie, why was she angry, and has no explanation. Maybe she is just an old man that yells at the cloud like Grandpa Abe of The Simpsons. And also, this woman seems to haven't dealt with any black person. See the obvious? She is simply stereotyping when she does not believe that George was the owner. Outcome would have been different when both George and his daughter are wearing plain clothes instead of coat and tie and gown. She must have shown the attitude immediately like a Karen does. Other reviewers mentioned that she was a quintessential Karen. She's not afraid to be tagged as a racist.
I'm sorry, this really doesn't seem like their house. The board of the Philharmonic, give me a break. All feels a little improvised now, just all feels like a con to me. So there was a blackout And you decided to drive all the way out here.
She is a bigot, egotistical, vicious and self-centered, shouts at Ruth, putting her white children's needs
Stop yelling at me!
before the emotions felt by Ruth, whose mother is missing. The Scots did show calmness despite obviously dealing with a Karen. Then near the end of the movie she monologues, "I don't want to be this way. I hate being terrible like this." She hates people but she'd do anything to have them back. Then a slight jump scare and then it started again on rotating camera and started building, then showed the cabin and it seemed there was some supernatural, daylight, Evil Dead scene that came out as jump scare.
Now, I can barely do anything without my cell phone and my GPS. I am a useless man.
However, as a useless person dependent on online maps and GPS signals, which are not working at the moment, he gets lost. As we can see in this scene, they are somewhere in Point Comfort, New York, and there is definitely no good 5G signal there. While attempting to return home, a lady stops him and begins panically chatting in Spanish. She speaks in a language which Clay cannot understand. He was eager to help, but the complexities of communication prevented him from deciding what to do. Overwhelmed with frustration, he says, "Sorry," and walks away. Just like Clay, many viewers also didn't get what the Spanish lady was saying. Even though they were aware that she was asking for help, most of the viewers were seeking her exact English translation. According to Oral Crave, here is what she said.
"Thank God I found someone. I'm trying to get back to my home. I'm lost. I've been walking for a while. I need to use your phone. You're the first person I've seen all day. We have to get out of here. I just saw a plane that was spraying red gas in the vicinity. I saw some deer, more than 50. They were coming out of the woods. Please, I need to go home, sir. A military plane appeared and fled. There's no one around. Is it a chemical attack?"
She could be a big help for their family. Usually they have this unconditional gratuitous help and love, especially at this time of need. She was probably a nanny or a house caretaker whose job was to be left behind while the house owner is not around, represents an aspect of uncontrolled chaos in the logic of leave the world behind, and we are not meant to know what she is saying. After all, it's the end of the world, and we're all left with nothing but the urge to survive.
Some